Good afternoon, this is Bob Iaccino coming to you from the CME Group trading floor in Chicago. Talking metals, let's talk copper, which actually had a pretty wild day, finished up a little over 0.25% in the June contract, 305 and almost 3/4 on the price. We ended up about, like I said, a little bit over 0.25%, about 36 basis points or so. Earlier in the day, copper was lower, however, as trade tensions continued to reestablish themselves between the U.S. and China as President Trump announced the tariffs were moving forward on Chinese goods. The Chinese didn't respond to this very positively in terms of their rhetoric, and China is the largest purchaser, smelter, and user of copper and copper products. So it seemed to be more of a global growth story where copper would be purchased less and less in China, thereby lowering the price. It also didn't help with the EU drama we've seen with tensions in Italy, political tensions. That is also part of the global growth story, as Italy is the third largest economy in the EU. The Eurozone did have some positive data where their sentiment index rose and German unemployment fell to a record low at 5.2%, but overall the Italian tension from the overnight markets really contributed to base metals in general and copper specifically moving lower. But then the dollar weakness kind of took over, boosted copper along with the Beige Book, which came out later in the day in the U.S. session. Beige Book in the U.S., it's a Federal Reserve report that showed broad-based manufacturing growth all over the country except Dallas, which just showed slight growth, but still growth nonetheless. So all of the Fed districts showed growth, and then the dollar weakness, which has an inverse relationship to all commodities, pushed base metals higher, and copper itself rallied from a slight deficit to, as I mentioned, about a 36 basis point positive in toward the end of the day. So talking about June copper, up a little bit on the day, but a pretty wild and volatile session. Started off lower, finished to the positive side. This is Bob Iaccino talking copper futures from the CME Group trading floor in Chicago.